Hello from Portland. As you might imagine, I've been following the arguments being made over the Defense of Marriage Act, and yesterday there were arguments in the Supreme Court about Proposition 8, both of which may very well end up being decided on pretty technical grounds that will probably not resolve all of the questions. One of the questions that's come up both in the argument before the court and in sort of the broader debate about marriage equality is the question of what social science has to say about whether gay couples make good parents or make stable families or any of that. And this is a question that's bothered me for a while because I think a lot of people sort of look at the social science and see really whatever they want to see. If they're pro-marriage equality, they say there's no real evidence that gay parenting is bad for kids, which is true. And if they're anti-marriage equality, they say there's no strong evidence that gay parenting is good for kids, which is also true. Because there's, to be honest, no really good evidence either way. Because it is, first of all, very, very difficult to construct reliable studies of human beings. It's difficult to construct any reliable scientific study. Constructing scientific studies and developing appropriate control groups and replicating your results and controlling for confounding factors and all those things is really, really difficult, even when you're studying microbes or molecules or other things that don't have privacy rights or reasons to not talk to you. Studying human families, studying children, is much, much, much more difficult, and it makes it very hard to construct a really reliable sample and to get meaningful results. First of all, you have to have a large group of families to study, and those families will either be volunteers, which means they're likely to be unrepresentative of the broader group, or they're going to be people who are in the social services system for some reason. They've been referred by social workers or child protective services, and therefore may have more problems than other families for reasons that don't have anything to do with same-sex parenting. So I sort of cringe whenever I hear someone on the conservative side say, oh, well, we need to wait until we have more evidence. Because, and I'll just say this as an aside, it cracks me up how suddenly empirical and attentive to social science conservatives become when they're losing a debate about social change, because 9 times out of 10 they could not possibly care less what social workers or psychologists have to say about anything. But I cringe just as much on the other side when I hear people just confidently declare that science has spoken and there's no disagreement and it's clear that gay people make perfectly good parents. I think that's true. I don't think you can say that to a degree of scientific certainty, and I don't think you should have to say that to a degree of scientific certainty. The very fact of having to marshal scientific evidence of your fitness to be a parent is something no one else has to go through. When people who are Jehovah's Witnesses or Presbyterians show up to adopt a baby, no one demands that they have controlled studies of Presbyterians or Jehovah's Witnesses to see if they make good parents. And for example, when people who've been divorced or on their second or third marriage apply to adopt, they don't have to provide empirical evidence that divorced and remarried people are fit parents. You have to prove that you as a person are fit, that you are capable of taking care of a child, that you don't have a criminal record, that you don't have psychological issues that prevent you from being a good parent, all those things. All the criteria for parenting are focused on individual traits. But in this one case, people want to demand proof of fitness, not just of the individual, but of the entire class of people to whom the individual belongs. I think very often when you see someone talking about, oh, we need to have more data, more science, it's not really about science. They're not interested in science. They're interested in delay or distraction or changing the subject. And they don't want to say directly that they want to discriminate. They just want to let discrimination stand until some impossible standard of scientific proof has been met. And luckily, I don't think that's really going to work for very much longer. Thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.